they could tell something was wrong. And then the next thing I know, I grabbed the girl next to me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a video that I'm kind of scared to make, I'm not gonna lie. Also, I hope this lighting's okay. I'm in front of a window, so if the sun goes, the lighting goes, so it might be changing throughout this video. I didn't feel like filming in front of my backdrop with the lights. That hasn't been my vibe lately. But anyways, in today's video, I'm gonna be talking all about my journey in the NPC and the Ifbb, why I stopped competing, and 5 things I wish I knew before I got into the industry. I'm not nervous to discuss like my experiences and stuff like that because they're my experiences, but I'm just nervous because I'm going to be 100% honest. That means some people might not like what I have to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So yeah, if you wanna hear all the tea, girl, then just keep watching. So I guess I'm gonna start with how I got into the industry and like why I started competing and all of that. So basically my background is that I played volleyball majority of my life, so I was an athlete in that aspect. And then after college is when, like, unless you're playing a professional sport, you're no longer as active as you once were when you were an athlete. So after college, one of my best friends was getting married and she was training with a trainer. She had competed before, but I knew nothing. I didn't know about the industry at all. I didn't know it existed. I didn't know that whole world was such a thing. She was like, hey, you guys are my bridesmaids. Do you guys want to train together and just get in shape for fun for my wedding? And we were like, sure. We basically started training with this trainer who I love. I'm not gonna name names in this video. I just don't think there's a point in that. And honestly, I don't have negative things to say about specific people. I don't think I do. But yeah, love that trainer to this day. We started training with him and like as we started getting more in shape, more fit, not that we were that out of shape to begin with, but we weren't like competing in shape, if that makes sense. Because it's different. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like if you play a sport versus if you compete on stage, that's 2 different kinds of in shape. And then he was just like, so you guys are gonna compete. So me and my friend who have never competed before were like, what are you talking about? So basically we competed in the Independence Day Classic show here in Dallas in July. It was like on the 4th of July or the 5th of July, I think. And we were gonna be competing in the bikini category. And obviously we would be in the novice category. So if you're not familiar with the industry, novice just means you are new or you've never won a show before. So if you've never won a show, you can compete in novice. If you have, you can no longer compete in novice. That's like the new group. And then there's an open group where anyone can compete. You can compete in that category if you're new or if you've won shows before, it's like open to anyone. So we were gonna be competing in the novice category and the open category. At that first show, I had no clue what I was in for. But basically, long story short, I ended up winning the novice group and I ended up winning the open group. So apparently I was ready for the show, but I didn't know that. Like my posing, girl, it was, looking back, it was awful, but I guess it wasn't bad. I don't know. And then the judges had told our coach that I should go straight to nationals. Mind you, can I just side note, the things I'm saying are not to brag, it's just how it went. So I'm not trying to say like, oh, I won my first show, I'm better than everyone. That's not the case at all. I'm just telling you how it happened and how my journey progressed. The judges told my coach to take me to nationals. I did not know what that even meant. I didn't know like the levels to this shit, like none of it, okay? So nationals, for those of you who don't know, is in Miami in November every single year. And that is a show where you can earn your pro card. So you compete at the NPC level, which is the amateur level. And then if you get your pro card by winning a national show, you start competing on the pro level. I went to nationals that November. So just to recap, I competed in July. So that November, I went to Miami and competed at nationals. Honestly, I was intimidated AF because when I got there, all of these girls had teams. Mind you, keep in mind, I'm very new to this still. I have no clue about this whole world. I didn't know it was this big. All these girls had teams. They had robes with their team names on it. They had their teammates there, their coaches. They're all in groups. It was pretty cliquey, to be quite honest. And I was completely new. I didn't have a team. It was just me and my trainer. I was just sitting in the back, like by myself with my headphones in. Girls can be pretty cutthroat backstage. Like literally if you need something, they're not gonna help you. Some will, but some are just like, why would it help you if it's gonna ruin my chances of winning? But really, like, if someone needs hairspray and you have hairspray, give them some fucking hairspray. I don't understand. That's not gonna help you win. But anyways, we're not gonna get too deep into that. Yeah, so all the girls backstage were like getting pumped up. There's weights backstage and bands and stuff to like, you can pump your glutes and your arms or whatever right before you get on stage. And my coach straight up told me not to do that. It's pretty intense back there. You can feel how like nervous people are. So I was literally sitting in a chair listening to music, watching all these girls get pumped up, and I felt like I was doing something wrong because he told me not to do that. But I was just like, but everyone else is doing it, so shouldn't I be doing it? I look like an outcast. I felt like an outcast, and then I wasn't doing what everyone else was doing, so I felt even more like, what am I doing? But anyways, that show I did win and I got my pro card. I'm sure it's been done before. I'm not saying like I'm like so great, but that's just how it happened. Then after that, I want to say I did 1 or 2 pro shows and didn't place too well. I think I placed like one show I placed last. So let me just insert this really quick, this information. On the NPC level, the judges want you to look one way. They don't want you to look big. They want you lean. They want you tight, like smaller, right? But as soon as you get to the pro level, these bitches are big, okay? Even at the bikini level, they're not tiny little human beings. It's weird, like, so basically if you're going from the NPC level to the pro level, like you need to put on size because these girls at the pro level don't play. They are not, I did well at the NPC level easily because I'm already tiny. But then once I got to the pro level, like on stage next to these buff as fuck bikini girls, I was not placing well at all. Like, girl, I was getting like last. I did a couple shows with that coach, and then I actually ended up switching to, so the coach I had, I switched to his coach for the nutritional aspect of it because I just needed to try something new because whatever me and my previous coach were doing wasn't working for me on the pro level. It worked well for me on the NPC level, which is fine. Honestly, I was like, for one show, I want to try a new coach, see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, like we'll go back and, you know, go back to the drawing board, whatever. The next pro show I did, but it was the first show with the new nutritional coach, who I also love, and he knows his shit like you would not believe. I won that pro show. So when you win a pro show, you get like a bid, or is that the right word? I don't even fucking know. You're invited to Olympia if you win a pro show, or like you have an in to Olympia. Now this is where it gets a little, I don't know. If you followed me back when I did compete, I had a lot of questions after Olympia. I never addressed it because I didn't want to throw anyone under the bus because it was no one's fault but my own. I didn't want to make anyone look bad in any way, shape, or form because it was not about that whatsoever. So if you watched Olympia the year that I competed there and you were confused, I'm about to tell you why. I have never spoken on social media before. I've never mentioned this before, ever. And I'll insert pictures as well from that time because I still have them, I believe. So first of all, Olympia is in Vegas, if you didn't know, which is like in the desert. It's dry as hell there. 2, I had to fly there because I live in Dallas, which is also dehydrating. I'm just painting the picture for you before I get to what all happened. I met some really awesome people there that I'm still friends with today, and I did meet some girls there that I competed against that were not very nice. But again, not gonna name names. Not even sure if some of these girls compete anymore, but some of them were not nice girls, which I will never understand. But basically what happened was they didn't stream prejudging this year, but at prejudging, okay, so I'm all over the place, guys. At Olympia, like bikini goes on first thing in the morning. I had to wake up at the butt crack of dawn, probably like 4:30 a.m. or some crazy shit, to get my hair and makeup done and get all ready, right? Make sure my tan is right, everything. And I was nervous as hell, as you could imagine. This is only my, I think it was my 4th or 5th show ever, and it's at Olympia. I'm nervous, I'm gonna do so bad, whatever. Like, I'm getting ready, and the whole morning that I'm getting ready, I did not drink any water. So just to give y'all some information for those of you who aren't familiar with water and when it comes to competing, usually you water load and then you pool water. So like the week before your show, was it like, so if your show's like on Saturday, you would water load the beginning of that week and then pool water towards the end. And what that does is when you overload your body with water for a couple days, you're giving your body all of this water, and your body's like, okay, wow, this is a lot of water. I gotta get rid of it, gotta pee it out. Right? You're peeing a lot. You're getting your body used to that. Every bit of water that's coming in, it's peeing out because it's too much water, right? And then once you pull the water, meaning you cut that amount of water in half and then cut it even more and more and more until you're barely drinking any water, your body is still trying to get rid of it because you kind of tricked it. So then that's why you see bodybuilders with really, like, their skin is super tight up against their muscles, and it looks all good, and your abs are popping, and your everything, all your muscles that you worked hard for during your prep are like showing because you're dry, if that makes sense. Like your body's dry, there's like no water in it. I did that, but I never do that too extreme. However, flying makes you dehydrated, like I said before, and being in the desert is drying as well. And I hadn't drank any water that day. I wasn't supposed to obviously drink a lot, but I didn't drink any because I was too busy getting ready and trying to make sure I didn't forget anything, forget my heels, whatever. We had to be downstairs at a certain time for the bus that takes all the competitors to the venue. I just had so much going on. I was so nervous. I didn't think to drink anything at all. And I don't remember the last time I had drank water the day before either, because there's, like I said, so much going on, events and all these things. So then when I got to prejudging and we got on stage, I did my individual routine. I wish I had video of that, but I don't think that I do. But I'll insert pictures if I have pictures of before this shit went down. I did my individuals, and once you do your individuals, you're off on the side. Once I got to the side, I was good for a little bit, and then all of a sudden my vision started going black. You know when you're gonna black out or pass out and all of a sudden you start to see black splashes pop up in your eyesight, and all of a sudden everything's black and you can't see anymore? That was happening to me, and I was freaking out because I'm still on stage, you guys. My brother and my dad could tell something was wrong with me because they said I was like blinking and I kept moving. Like my stance kept moving, and I don't move around that much on the side. I kind of hold my pose, right? They could tell something was wrong, and then the next thing I know, I grabbed the girl next to me. Bless her soul, she's such a sweetheart, and she was very sweet to me about everything and messaged me after everything went down. But I'm glad I didn't take her down with me, but I grabbed her because it's the only thing around me was two girls. So I ended up grabbing her, and then I passed out or fell out on stage. Luckily there are men like helping guide the girls and stuff on the stage, so they took me backstage, gave me some Pedialyte, trying to hydrate me a little. I sat down, and then things started to feel better. I felt okay, so they put me back on stage on the side. And then when you're all done with your individual routines and you're all on the side, they will have one side come out all at once and just stand in front of the judges so they can have like a final look. As we were doing that, I could not see. It went all black again, but I was walking. So the whole time we walked from the side to the front, waited as long as the judges told us to wait there, and then went back to the side, I couldn't see anything. It was completely black, and by the time I got back to the other side, I put my arms out, and the guy who had helped me off the stage before could tell it wasn't good again, so he took me backstage again. At that point, there are paramedics at these events because things do happen. It's a very intense sport. They put me on a stretcher. My parents and my brother and my coach were all backstage with me. I was bawling my eyes out because how fucking embarrassing is that? And at this time, I didn't know that prejudging wasn't streaming. So not only was everyone seeing this, all the competitors, all the judges, the whole audience, but I thought everyone watching through streaming was seeing this too. And I was just like, how embarrassing. No one even knows who the fuck I am. This is my first year pro, so it's not like I have a name for myself, and this is the first impression that I'm giving them. Oh, I was so mortified. They wheel me out, bro. I thought like they would wheel me out behind the stage, out the back or something, and no one would have to see it. No, honey. They wheeled me out like through the audience where everyone in the venue could see. It was so embarrassing. My freaking makeup is running down my face. So anyways, I got taken to the hospital. Basically, they figured out that I was just very, 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 very dehydrated, which was not my coach's fault, it was my fault. And then actually it turned out that I had an abnormal EKG. So then I had to deal with that when I got back home, but that ends up being unrelated to this. I did not make it to finals, and they did live stream finals. So everyone that was cheering me on from my hometown or watching or whatever and knew that I was competing in Olympia was very confused because they didn't see prejudging. All they saw was finals, and I wasn't on stage at finals. I wasn't there. So everyone was like, where were you? Like, did you not go? Did you not compete? I just kept it hush. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to throw like my coach or my trainer or anyone under the bus because it was not anyone's fault. And I didn't post the pictures from the hospital on social media or anything because I still think it put a negative tone on my coach, and it was not my coach's fault. fault at all whatsoever. He knows his stuff. He's very intelligent. He did not do me wrong in that prep. It was the mistakes that I made going into that show. So yeah, that was my journey. After that, I never competed again, not just because it was extremely embarrassing, but I think that was just like the tip of the iceberg after everything. In the short amount of time that I competed, I observed so much crap that was bothersome to me. So I guess having fainted and embarrassing the shit out of myself at Olympia was just like the cherry on top. So after that, I just kind of had an overall bad taste in my mouth about everything. So now that I had already gone to Olympia, not that it went well or how I expected, but I was just kind of like, I'm good. I achieved the levels, I did the things, you know? But yeah, that was my journey competing. And now I want to tell you guys the 5 things that I wish I knew before I started competing and got into that industry. The judges know who's competing at the show before they even get there. And a lot of times the top 5 girls are chosen before we even get there. So